Hey, it's been a while since I've made a video, but I really felt like this is something that I wanted to talk about today. Something that I've been thinking a lot about, and today at church is, confirmation that I should probably make a video about this. So today I want to talk about counting the cost. And counting the cost specifically when it comes to singleness and your goal of marriage. So, growing up in church and hearing about God's design for marriage, you have two people who are following the Lord, remaining pure, and entering into a marriage where there's integrity in that marriage, and having Christ in the center. There's so many benefits that there is when two people who love the Lord, who remain pure, or pure during that relationship, who are equally yoked, to enter into a marriage where Christ is the center and build that foundation on Christ. And there's just so many benefits, and it's so beautiful. And I was taught this model. I'm sure many of you have been taught this model growing up in church, Bible study, small groups. And this is something that, if marriage is what you desire, then that's, and if you're a Christian, that's what we want, ultimately. We want Christ to be the center, and we want to enter into marriage. And so I love it. But the one thing that is not talked about is counting the cost of that singleness, or counting the cost of what it would look like to lead up to a marriage like that. So I want to talk about that today because I think it's so important that we talk about it. The roadmap to marriage seems so just wonderful and great, and it is. But in reality, it's hard, and there's a lot of struggles that come with it. And so I kind of want to talk about that today, especially living in the 21st century. It's 2022, and it seems almost impossible. So a few of the things that I want to talk about first is, in Luke chapter 14, 27 through 29, Jesus is talking about counting the cost, right? Counting the cost of being his disciple, and being a disciple of Christ is a follower of Christ. And, he says, who doesn't count the cost? And if they don't complete it, people will mock them. So I want to highlight that, because as Christians we're told, following the Lord is going to be great. Our life, we're going to have Jesus through it all, which is true. Jesus is with us all of the time. But it's a lot of counting. There's a lot of sacrifice that comes into being an obedient follower of Christ, especially if you want a godly Christian marriage. And I want to make this video just kind of talk about what are those things that are counting the cost, especially if you're young and you've decided in your heart and you've been convicted by the Lord, I'm a Christian. I know that I want a godly Christian marriage one day. I want to kind of tell you about some of the things you're going to have to face and struggle with in counting the cost towards that marriage. And so one of the things that I want to say is rejection. You know, you're going to deal with rejection. And with rejection, especially if you are wanting to remain pure until marriage, or if you haven't, and you've repented and you decided, okay, I want to live out a celibate life, you're going to face rejection. And it's not only going to be rejection from people that aren't Christians that you might encounter or come across that are interested in you, but it's going to also be Christians that aren't willing to walk out that Christian life with you. I've dated a few people who rejected me because I said, this is my standard. I want to live according to what God says. And, you know, that was the end of that. And they weren't willing to walk that out. Now there are people that will be able to do that, but that's one of the things that you're going to have to face is rejection. And it's hard because you might think, oh, isn't this what people like want? Or not the world. The world doesn't want that. The world wants easy access, you know, quick. They want to engage in sexual intimacy with each other before marriage. And, you know, that's something that you're going to have to deal with. Another thing that you're going to have to count the cost on is social media. So with social media, it's so easy to follow people, to like people. And with that, there's a lot of temptation on social media towards lust. And so with that, there's an appetite of lust and of different body shapes, sizes, colors, whatever you want. There's all of that on there. And it's so easy to build this appetite of sexual lust, what you're looking for. And, you know, there is a tendency to want to always compare yourself to these other women that might be on these apps. And so you just have to be confident that you are who God created you to be. You know, your body shape, your body size, your shape, who you are, your ethnicity, everything. You know, be confident in that. And, you know, I'm not saying that you can't do things to improve yourself. You can always go to the gym and work out and exercise and, you know, watch what you eat to improve it. But just know that, like, for the person that you're entertaining or dating, that might be a temptation for them. And so with the next thing with that is dating apps. I want to talk about with dating apps because along with social media, it's if you're on a dating app, just know that you are amongst many other women who might be on these apps, and it's easy to also build that appetite, you know, with men and women, you know, of, oh, this is what I'm looking for, the next bigger and better thing. And if it doesn't work out with someone, you just get back on that Ferris wheel and swipe right. So take the time, you know, if something doesn't work out with someone, take the time to get off the app. And with that, use wisdom on the app. But that's not what this video is for. Take the time off the app, process, you know, trying to learn about why it didn't work out, what happened. Just do some self-reflection. I don't recommend just hopping back on an app again when something doesn't work out, especially if you've dated for, you know, more than a few months, 3-4 months. Definitely take the time to just collect yourself, focus on yourself, and you know, really focus on what the Lord is wanting to reveal to you in that moment. So another part of counting the cost is pornography. So this is a very big thing in our society now, where the person that you're dating very well may be having a struggle or an addiction to pornography. And that is with the whole easy access towards sex and towards, you know, satisfying that lustful desire. And so just know that that's a struggle that many men and women, you know, women struggle too. That's a thing that they're gonna have to really you're gonna have to know about, or you're gonna have to realize that that's a thing that a lot of people struggle with when you're dating. So it's not easy to know that people might be struggling with that. And if someone you're dating has opened up to you and shared that, you know, that's a huge step, and you want to you know, guard your heart, but also be proud, be thankful that they shared that with you, and ask the Lord how you want to continue with that relationship. You know, maybe you can get counseling, or, you know, they can get an accountability partner. But that's a very it's part of counting the cost, you know, where you have this idea of two people coming together pure, but this person might be struggling. And that's not just with pornography, but any sort of addiction. And if they love the Lord and they really want to be a disciple of them, you know, they would do what they can to, in Christ's power, to let go of that, because that's what's hindering them. So in all of this, though, I want to touch on the loneliness you're going to feel walking this out. The loneliness of being single, the loneliness of wanting that Christian relationship and Christian marriage. And loneliness is not an uncommon feeling for singles in general. Just people generally who are single, no matter where you're from or what religion you're in. But it will be even more heightened as a Christian, because there are so many things that are stacked against what we are called to in preparing and leading up to that Christian marriage. There's so many things in our world that have strongholds on people that will, you know, it's that much more harder as Christians. So, and it can be very lonely at times, you know, and you might see other people getting married. You might see other people having babies and having kids, and you're just left thinking, Lord, like, what about me? But I want to encourage you guys today, because the Lord will never leave you nor forsake you. And I know that that is such a common phrase used in Christian circles, but this is what truly, truly will help you to get through those moments, because He truly will never leave you nor forsake you. You know, you turn your eyes to Him, and He will be that rock for you. He is a strong tower. And just allowing Him to carry you through those moments of rejection, comparison, lust, loneliness, all of those things that aren't talked about, you know, when leading to a Christian marriage and wanting to be married. All of those things the Lord will carry you through. And so, you know, at the end of the day, you know, God makes all things good for those who love him and who are called according to his purpose. And knowing that it's going to be a struggle, you know, living out this Christian life, counting the cost, knowing exactly, you know, Lord, I want to honor you. I want to glorify you in my marriage, my future marriage. And this is what it's going to cost me. These are the struggles that I'm going to come up against, leading to that. And he will honor that, and he will see that. So I just want to encourage you guys to not give up, to continue praying and relying on the Lord to get you through all of that, and to know that he will make all things good for those who love him and who are called according to his purpose. And don't stop praying for what you desire for a godly marriage. Don't stop praying for that, because I believe that he sees that and he will honor that. And he gave you that desire, you know, to live out, to want to have a godly Christian marriage. He gave you that desire, and nobody else would have except for the Lord. So just be encouraged today, and just know that the Lord loves you, and he sees you, and he sees through your struggle. And even if you do fall, there's grace, and repent and just turn to him and continue to walk on this path towards a Christian life, honoring him in your singleness, living a pure life, and just doing that inner healing work for you to be prepared to be the husband or wife that God called you to be. So just be encouraged and be blessed, and I hope to make another video soon. All right, bye guys.